because it didn't get much worse as the game went on. But there in the, what was that, the sixth inning, when I was trying to loosen up, I could feel it, and it was tightening up a little bit. But I've had a couple elbow issues before, and I know what that feels like. So my level of concern is not too high. I'm pretty optimistic about it, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be something that we can treat and hopefully not miss any time.
Are you going to have to get any tests run on it, or are you taking it, just kind of based on feel right now?
Based on feel, we did all the ligament test and all that checks out. Like I said, I know how that feels. I tried to pitch with a partially torn ligament when I first got drafted, and I know how that feels, and this didn't feel anything like that. So I'm pretty optimistic about where we're at.
Okay, so that being said, with tonight, you've been a guy that first time through the order has just been pumping fastballs past teams all season long. Was it simply that you felt like your slider was really good tonight, or seeing as you were facing the same lineup back to back, you wanted to mix things up on them?
I think seeing that they were going to be aggressive, I think Pham swung at the first pitch of a game twice in his career, and he swings against it, or swings at the first pitch of this game. So kind of knowing they wanted to try to jump on the fastball, made the adjustment. It wasn't something we had talked about before. It was just, seeing how aggressive they were going to be.
Thanks.
Anthony, you're next.
Hey, Jake. When you do talk about feeling discomfort, where exactly are you feeling it?
It's along the flex. That's the thing. Whenever you say elbow, anything, for a pitcher, everybody gets a little, nervous about that. But like I said, I do a lot of ligament tests on my own, and doing those, knowing what that feels like, it's a total different spot. So like I said, I'm not too worried about it. And hopefully it's something that we can treat and run back out there in 5 days.
What do you mean when you do ligament tests on your own? What do you do?
I feel like I'm always testing my arm to see how it feels. It's just something that I do, always moving it around. There's just they do test on it, and I constantly have it tested just to make sure. I don't know.
And just you say you hope to miss no time at all. The Mets have been very cautious with you with these other injury things that have popped up. Do you think it's reasonable that you could potentially be back out there in 5 days?
Yeah, I do, honestly. Like I said, I felt it this whole week through, or 5 days or 6. I don't even know what I was on, 5 or 6. But I felt it through there, and like I said, it never really got worse. I think just there towards the end, I started getting a little tired, and I don't know if I was out of my delivery when my mechanics felt good tonight. I didn't really feel it. When I would fly open, I felt it a little bit. So, I'm pretty optimistic that I'll be out there in 5 days.
Thank you.
Your next question is from Justin Toscano.
Hey, Jake, when you mentioned just managing it, is that just treatment between starts? Is that not throwing as hard during a start? What sorts of things go into managing it?
No, that's just doing a little extra treatment in between, trying to get whatever inflammation or whatever's in that area out. We already worked on it some tonight and moving it around. Now it already is feeling like it's loosened up. So, hopefully continue to trend in that direction. And like I said, be out there in 5 days.
And then mechanically, it's only flying open, right? So you don't have to make any other change other than trying to keep that in line.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Your next question is from Ed Coleman.
Hey, Jake, was there a point at all this week where you said, hey, maybe I ought to take a break here and just skip the start?
No, honestly, that didn't cross my mind. And, how it was trending this week was a plus. Like, I felt a little more right after I pitched. And then, the day on my side, it felt better. When I woke up today, it felt great. And, we had an off day yesterday, so wasn't really sure. I didn't make it into play catch yesterday. So, woke up, felt good. Could feel it a tiny bit in the bullpen, but not like when I was still on my side. So I liked the way it was trending and didn't feel like it was a concern. And then, Hef, I had given him a heads up, and he just said, let's not push it. He came up to me after the sixth and said, I think we got to play this safe here. And, I think that's the right play.
And do you think, some of the longer layoffs you've had because of rainouts and off days and that this year, and then going out and cranking it up for a start, do you think that's had anything to do with it?
Um, I'm not really sure. That's a tough question. Who knows? It could be you're already pretty much where I'm at, or how many innings I threw last year. It could be a number of different things. You try to get in a routine where you stay on 5 days, but like you said, you have rainouts and our first series canceled, stuff like that. I would say that probably plays a little bit of a role in it.
Ken Davidoff, you're up.
Hey, Jake, did you clue in the trainers this past week when you were experiencing this, and did you do any of that extra treatment you said you'll do moving forward?
I did my normal arm care stuff. Like I said, I wasn't thinking too much about it. I thought the way it was feeling and the way that like it was trending in the right direction, I felt like I didn't really need to say anything. Looking back, probably should have done some more stuff in between, but hopefully we stay ahead of it now.
Thank you.
Jake Steiner, you're up.
Hey, Jake, I just wanted to clarify on the ligament test. So you did one of these ligament tests after you left the game tonight. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, we did a number of them, and all that checks out.
And does that include any imaging, or is that stuff just a doctor as you move your arm and
No, that's as you move your arm. Like I said, having dealt with elbow issues, I'm pretty familiar with how that feels.
Laura, you're up.
Hey, Jake, just kind of changing tacks a little bit. It's the first time with this many fans out there. I just wanted to know, what was the sense like out there, being out there for the first time in, I guess, 21 months in that situation?
Yeah, that was awesome. I've said it before. I love pitching here. New York Mets fans have been great to me. Love taking the mound here in front of fans, and having that many people here tonight. It was unbelievable, and just good to have them back.
Your final question comes from Matthew Robertson.
Hey, Jake, Matthew Robertson with the New York Daily News. You've mentioned treatment a couple times. I'm just curious if you anticipate having to change your throwing routine at all between starts.
The plan is not to. The plan is to go as normal and just get here early and get it worked on and try to stay ahead of it.
And then at the plate tonight, can you just talk a little bit about your approach against Blake Snell?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's tough. I was just trying to see the ball and put a good swing on it. I had the bunt was on, and then the ball got the guys over, and my thought there early on was try to get a ball in the air and get one run in, and then when I got to 2 strikes, I was going to just try to battle, and I was fortunate enough to get a pitch over the plate that I could do something with.
Lastly, one more from deGrom.
Hey, Jake, just those first 4 innings were dominant. I think everyone in the ballpark was thinking perfect game, and you had, for you, a pretty big reaction when you gave up that hit. Were you, or to what extent were you thinking it?
Yeah, I mean, you'd say I'd be lying if I said that I wasn't thinking about it. But Will did a good job there and battled me, and I left the slider up, and he was able to block it over there and get a hit. But definitely the thought creeped into my mind. So don't want a no-hitter or a perfect game is definitely a goal. Just haven't been able to do it.
Jacob, thank you very much for your time tonight.
Thank you.
Good evening, Billy. Thank you for taking the time. Members of the media,
Thank you.
if you'd like to ask a question, please use the raise your hand feature. Your first question tonight will come from Steve Gelbs.
Hey, Billy, after that Pilar double, you go up there swinging first pitch, clearly looking to be aggressive. What was your approach in that spot?
Like you said, I was trying to be aggressive, trying to get Pilar over. I was glad I got to the outfield, but no outs. I was trying to get him to third base as the goal. And that out of hand, I felt like that was a pitch I could pull and get him to third. So that was just the goal right there.
When Pilar was talking about you the other night, he said that he felt like you were a guy that kind of just needed an opportunity and never really had that consistent opportunity in Toronto. How much of what you're doing right now do you feel is just because you've been able to play every day?
It's always nice getting every day at bats, but I mean, I can't fret or complain. I mean, it's like in my time in Toronto, I can't complain about that. I mean, playing time's earned, and you got to go in there and earn it, and that's my goal every day. But I would say just trying to do something to help the team, and everybody's been great helping me out, and I'm grateful for KP saying those nice things. But I'm just grateful for the opportunity.
What do you think has been the biggest difference for you this season from your time in Milwaukee to your time so far with the Mets?
Did you say biggest difference?
Yeah, biggest difference. Difference, yep.
I'm not sure. I enjoyed my time in Milwaukee. Everybody was great to me. Obviously didn't do my best there, but it's all part of the game, and I'm just glad to come here and everybody welcomed me with open arms. I felt like I was a part of the team on the first day, and that's not many teams do that. So I was really appreciative of that, and just feeling like I was a part of the team and a part of the organization just so fast. And I just felt like it was, I was welcomed with open arms, and that just makes me feel a lot better as a player, and just playing with my teammates and playing, because you want to be a unit, you want to play as one. That's the goal, and they did a great job helping me with that.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Next up is Justin Toscano.
Hey, Billy, just as a teammate, how would you describe seeing deGrom leave the game with that injury, especially after how dominant he had been?
I didn't know that he left with an injury. I mean, that's obviously, you never want to see that for just such a great person, not even talking about his baseball skills, just a good, genuine person. He's been unbelievable to me, and obviously we're hoping that it's not a long thing and that he's good to go soon. And, I'll be praying for him, but yeah, that's obviously not easy to hear about, and hopefully he'll be back as soon as possible, because he's just a great guy, and obviously on the field it's just unbelievable, but just it's even more impressive what he does off the field as a person.
And then what was it like to be on the field, kind of in the midst of the atmosphere, when he had that 2-run single?
I was on third. I'm pretty sure I said, you got to be bleeping kidding me, just because it's ridiculous what he does. But he does stuff you don't see every day. So it's pretty cool to watch. It's unbelievable.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next question comes from Pat Ragasso.
Hey, Billy. That ball was hit pretty hard off the bat at Tommy Pham with 2 outs in the 8th inning. I was wondering if you thought that you were going to make that catch, and what was kind of going through your head when you did.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I was just trying to get a good break on it, and as it started coming down, I felt like I could get there, and I'm glad I did. I knew with who was throwing it, Edwin. He throws a hard fastball, so I was trying to be prepared for something over there, especially in the first inning, him hitting that foul ball down the line off Jacobs. So I'm just trying to be ready for that ball, and glad I was able to get there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is Jerry Beach.
Jake admitted that even as early as the 4th or 5th, he was thinking about potential no-hitter or more than that. As a teammate, watching him with the stuff he had tonight and the crowd the way it was, are you thinking that too, or is it too early?
I try not to think about that. I mean, obviously I'm not the pitcher, so I just try to I just try to lock it in on D, and it definitely creeps in. But like, with a guy like Jacob, I mean, heck, it's just it's part of business for him. So you don't even really think about that. He just kind of goes out there and does that. So, I mean, if you told me that, I mean, I wouldn't have been surprised. And yeah, I'm sure maybe later on I would have thought about it more. But the guy like deGrom, it's expected out of him. That's what he's done for himself. He's been that good, so it's impressive.
Your final question comes from Mike Mancuso.
Billy, how big of a win was this when you consider you just came back off that road trip? You're playing a good team. You had a lot of people in the stands. How nice of a win was this?
That was awesome. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, like you said, the fans were, I mean, they were loud. It was electric. Yeah, that's for sure. And, a great pitching matchup with Snell and deGrom. And it's just feels more like the game again with all the fans. And they're a great team. I mean, they've got so much talent. So, yeah, we obviously want to get them. They want to get us. And, it's a lot of fun when you get those wins. That's for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Billy, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, guys. Thank you all.
Edwin, thank you very much for taking the time tonight. If you'd like to ask a question, please use the raise your hand feature. Edwin, your first question will come from Steve Gelbs.
Edwin, what was tonight like for all of you guys playing in front of what is the biggest capacity crowd in the last couple of years here?
Para ti, para el grupo, ¿cómo fue jugando delante de todos los fanáticos que estaban aquí, más que todo de este año y comparado con el 2019?
Fue especial, primera vez desde que comenzó la pandemia que tenemos el chance de jugar al frente de mucha gente. La energía increíble, los fanáticos se gozaron el juego, que es lo más importante. Nosotros hicimos el trabajo nosotros, le dimos una victoria a Jacob. De verdad que fue un día súper especial para todo el equipo.
No, it was really special. It was really the first big crowd that we were able to play in front of since before the pandemic started. The energy was great. The fans, most importantly, were able to enjoy the game. We were able to get Jake a win, which was very important. But we really enjoyed it. It was a great time out there for all of us.
Speaking of Jake, as someone who yourself has a really high velocity fastball and a great slider. When you watch Jake on a day in day out basis do what he does, what comes to mind? What do you appreciate about the way Jacob deGrom pitches?
Y cuando tú estás hablando de Jake, un pitcher como tú que tira duro y que tiene un slider así también como el de Jake, cuando tú lo ves a él tirando todos los días lo que él está haciendo, ¿qué tú piensas?
JJ no tiene comparación ahora mismo. En este planeta no hay un pitcher mejor que él y todo lo que hace, lo hace perfectamente. Es un gran lanzador. Hasta ahora mismo está bateando, está haciendo unas cosas excelentes. Pero para mí, Jacob es de otro nivel, otro planeta. Ahora mismo, para mí, el mejor pitcher y cuidado que el mejor jugador del planeta.
Yeah, Jake, there's no comparison for Jake. Jake's from another planet, honestly. What he does on the mound, it's unbelievable. The other things that he does, he's even hitting right now. When you look at it, when you look at what he does every single day, it's perfect what he does, how he executes his pitches. Yeah, he's the best pitcher on the planet. He's on a different level, and honestly, I think he might even be the best player in baseball.
Thanks.
Justin, you're up.
Hey, Edwin, what's the key to holding the heart of their order scoreless as you did in the ninth?
¿Cuál es el enfoque para ti en el noveno inning para que ellos no puedan anotar carrera ahí en el noveno?
Ahora mismo strike uno es lo más importante. Después que yo me pueda montar en el strike, pues yo puedo hacer lo que yo quiera, ya que tengo un buen comando de mi recta ahora mismo, un buen comando de mi slider. Lo que hice fue comandar mis picheos, picheo a picheo inteligentemente. Estoy enfrentando a una de las mejores organizaciones en el mundo, en la Grandes Ligas. Yo solamente salí a competir y dar lo mejor de mí.
Yeah, it's just getting strike one. Strike one is the most important thing for me because after that, I can really do whatever I want because I'm in control because I have that comfort and that trust in that fastball and that slider that I have. I'm facing one of the best lineups in all of baseball, so it's really focusing pitch by pitch and being able to get those outs and just doing my best.
Thank you.
Matthew Robertson has the next question.
Edwin, after you came out in the eighth inning, it looked like you had a conversation with Luis Rojas in the dugout where he was kind of laughing. Can you tell us what was said during that conversation?
Después que tú saliste del octavo inning, tú estabas hablando con Rojas y él se pareció que estaba riendo contigo. ¿Qué fue la conversación que ustedes tuvieron?
No, la conversación fue cuando yo entré a lanzar, lo que acordamos fue que el corredor no importaba en esa situación. Yo vengo a sacar mi out, el tercer out de la octava entrada. Y me robó segunda, yo no estaba preocupado. Yo me estoy enfocando en el bateador. Yo sé que yo podía sacar el bateador de out. Lo saco de out. Cuando entró el dogout, le pregunto, Rojas, me fui rápido para home. Hice el light step. Y me dijo, no, no te preocupes por eso, que lo más importante fue sacar el out. Y esa fue la conversación que tuvimos en el dogout.
Yeah, so the conversation was spanning from when I first came into the game. He told me that the run didn't matter, just to get that third out. And once I came into the game, the batter stole second. And when I was able to get out of that inning, I went in there and I asked him if I moved too quickly to home, and he just told me not to worry about it. That the main objective was to get that third out, and yeah, he just told me to forget about the steal.
Veronica Contreras, you're up.
Hola, buenas noches, Edwin.
Bueno.
Háblame lo importante que es regresar a casa e iniciar así con esta victoria frente a todos tus aficionados.
No, se siente súper bien, me siento súper contento. Llevaba mucho tiempo sin jugar sin la fanaticada como estaba hoy. La fanaticada se disfruta el juego. Tremenda labor del equipo completamente. De verdad que me sentí súper contento en hacer mi trabajo, darle la victoria al equipo, sellarla como la sellé, frente a esos bateadores que me enfrenté. Nada, mañana es otro día, mañana vuelvo a la carga de nuevo y tratar de darle la victoria otra vez al equipo.
It was great being.
Oh, perdón.
It was great being in front of the fans out there. It was a great energy. We did everything that we needed to do. It was an entire team effort. I'm happy that I was able to go out there and do my job. I'm happy that everyone else was able to do their job. But tomorrow's another day. We have to focus on doing everything right tomorrow so we can get another win.
Háblame de deGrom.
deGrom es de otro planeta, como dije ahorita. Para mí el mejor jugador ahora mismo en las Grandes Ligas. De verdad que todo lo que hace lo hace bien, todo lo que hace le sale bien. Y enfrentar a ese equipo, uno de los mejores equipos ahora mismo, mucho respeto para ellos. Lo hace ver fácil, lo hace ver bien fácil y de verdad que admiro verlo lanzar, soy fanático de él, y tenerlo en el mismo equipo y aprender de las cosas de él, pues me ha funcionado bastante.
Gracias.
Seeing Jake pitch, like I said before, it's just one of those things where he's unbelievable. He's from a different planet. Everything that he does it just perfect. The execution is perfect. He makes it to the point where it looks easy. I'm a big fan of his. I've always have been. Now being a teammate of his, I'm able to watch him every single day. I'm also able to learn the little things that he does well, so I can incorporate it in my game. But yeah, he's just a real special talent.
Edwin, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Good evening, Luis. Your first question tonight comes from Steve Gelbs.
Hey, Louis. Jake didn't seem too concerned about this issue. What is your level of concern? Do you feel like he does, I guess, that he's confident he won't even miss another start?
Well, it starts right there, Steve. I'm not concerned either, just because Jake is not. And at this point, this is a guy that knows his body really well, knows his arm really well. I'm glad that he was honest to Jeremy Hefner in the middle of the game and said what he said, just to for us to be cautious with him, right? You want to have Jake, for the whole time. I mean, we already went through a stint with him, and I think we did that because he said what he was feeling, and right now he said it, and then at the same time he said that he wasn't concerned, so that's what we trust. So we'll keep checking him. He's going to get his treatments, and he's going to do his in between start routine, but he expects to make his next start. I expect him to make his next start, so that's where I'm at. I'm trusting my pitcher.
There was a lot of anticipation about tonight's game and the crowd being I guess the level that it was at tonight. From the dugout, what was your take? What was your feeling on what the crowd was like tonight?
Yeah, it was electric. It was fun. I'm sure the guys fed off of it. I mean, you could see their faces, like this guy's feed off of that. I mean, this is such a great fan base, supporting, cheering. all the impressions in game, the understanding of the game. You can see that our crowd does a good job at that, and then the game of baseball. So that was special. I thought, we missed it. I mean, we had the fans since day one, but not at this capacity. So we missed the volume like it was tonight. It was special. I mean, I can tell you, I had some goosebumps at times when he elevated as high as he elevated tonight. So we just pray that it keeps moving up, right? And we that capacity and things keep getting better. But tonight was it's a great experience to see everyone come in and show up, support us.
Next question is from Laura Albanese.
Hey, Louis. Jake mentioned he did some ligament tests and felt okay. Do you feel the need to do any further imaging, an MRI or something, just to make sure he's okay?
Well, I mean, right now we haven't talked about that, so I don't know. My understanding is the treatment. My understanding is working on it. That's what we talked about tonight, and the expectation of making the next start. So doing his in between start routine. So that's what I can tell you tonight, Laura. But nothing. We don't know anything about imaging or further tests, rather than doing treatment right now.
Next up is Justin Toscano.
Hey, Luis, just to clarify, when you first heard of Jake's kind of discomfort, where exactly did he tell you he was feeling that?
So he didn't tell me anything in game. He talked to Hef, and that's when Hef came to me and he told me that we gotta be cautious and we gotta take him out. And I went to him and I asked him if he was fine. He said, "Yeah, I'm fine." So I shook his hand and he went in. After the game is when I noticed, what was happening more than anything. But in game, I trusted Hef just telling me that, out of precaution, we needed to remove him. And but that's when I learned. I had a conversation with Jake. I had a conversation with the trainer to learn more about it, and it's what I got. So right flexor tendonitis, and it's something that is felt in the past, and it's something that is for him is treatable. So he feels confident that he can make his next start. So right now that you just got to focus on getting the treatment starting tomorrow. Sleep on it, and focus on that treatment starting tomorrow in between starts. So like he expects to make the next start, I expect him to make the next start as well.
And then what was your guys' approach against Snell? It looked like you guys really got comfortable against him in the last couple innings that he was in there.
Guys were laying off. The second time we see him in less than a week, right? And he's got unbelievable stuff. Obviously, the fastball carry. I mean, this guy's. There's a reason why he's won awards in the past, right? And I thought we laid off. We did a really good job narrowing the strike zone, shrinking the strike zone, and we were able to lay off some pitches. And second time through the lineup, I mean, once he went the first time, the second time everyone had a good sense of the sequencing and the ball coming out of his hand and what it was, and they put better at bats. I mean, we had the bases loaded 1-out situation, and Dom had the check swing for the double play, but Dom could have also run into a pitch there because the guys felt really comfortable that second time through, but which is really tough to do against a guy like that, who dealt less than a week ago against us. So, but I thought the guys did a good job. They picked up something, and I thought they connected good at bat, one good at bat after another good at bat to score the runs.
Anthony, you're up.
Hey, Luis, what happened with Castro, and also is Loop okay after taking that line drive?
Oh, yeah, sure, Anthony. Castro is a little tight, like in his neck trap area. He wanted to stay in the game. I was like, no, we're making the pitching move anyways. But, trainer came out just to check him where he was coming out anyways. And I talked to Brian Chiclo, who's our head trainer, and he believes that Castro should be fine. So he should be getting treatment now and probably tomorrow again. But it's nothing to be concerned of. And Loop took a line drive off the bicep. I can't recall how hard that was hit, but it was hard from my view. But he wanted to stay in the game. He was coming out of the game anyways, but he was trying to hide the ball from me, not to give it to me, and on the mound because he didn't want to come out. But then he was in the dugout, and he's not icing or anything. And I asked him, he's like, why aren't you icing? He's like, I'll be all right. Just maybe a little sore later, but I'll be all right. So he's just a tough guy. So I expect him to be okay. I hope that he iced the area. but he hit him in the bicep area, kind of. So we'll check him again. I'll ask about him later and check him again tomorrow, but I expect him to be fine.
Thank you.
Next question is from Zach Brazilier.
Luis, I was wondering about Nimmo. There was he told someone, I guess, that the injury is a torn ligament at the base of his fingers. What did you guys find out about what actually is going on with it?
Well, yeah, Nemo is and our medical staff. They've been on a search just to find out what's going on there, right? Because he's been getting into a progression and then he's got to regress. So it has been told to him, to get to a point of where he can tolerate to swing the bat and then start doing some soft toss and all those things, in the progression again every time he gets stopped. So he's been going to take second and third's opinion about it, and I think the more he's learned of it, I think the more exact he gets into what type of injury he has. So I think that's probably what he's had from the beginning, and it's just a second and third opinion is giving him more clarity of what it is, and that's what he said today. But at this point, we still expect. I mean, it doesn't change the treatment, it doesn't change the approach towards the injury that he's dealt with and he's been dealing with. So we're still waiting on him to work for his tolerance and start his progression. He's trending right now, so that's per me talking to him today when I saw him. So we just keep checking him out and see how he feels on the day-to-day, but it's not changing. The approach on the treatment is just not changing from, even though we're getting I'm going to say more accurate with the second and third opinion that he's gotten about the area that's hurting him.
Do you think a rehab assignment for him next week is realistic, or is that a little too?
Well, yeah, I mean, the question is when. That's what right now we don't have the time, the timeline. When's that going to be? I mean, we're waiting for him to tolerate everything that he can tolerate from as far as like impacting or the bat rolling in that area, because it can be really sensitive in those hand injuries. I mean, sometimes they take time. I mean, it can be very, very sensitive in some areas that you just, you feel sharp pain. And I'm just from listening to him, this is probably what it is. And so we're waiting for him to tolerate, I'm going to say, or probably have the pain go away, and then he can swing and he can make contact and there's nothing back that is just going to make him regress again. And that's when we're probably going to have a sense of his timeline. But the whole focus right now should be to get that pain, discomfort, everything that you could say that he's feeling in there.
Next up is Matthew Robertson.
At what point of the game do you typically know that Jake has his good stuff? Obviously, he has it more often than he doesn't, but for you, what are the signs that you're getting a good Jake start?
I mean, probably from the first pitch of the game. From his first pitch to his last pitch is special. I mean, this guy's got a menu of pitches. It's unbelievable. I think he threw 6 straight sliders to Will Myers, and not a lot of people can do that. And you still have like 100 in the tank there, and you just choose not to use it, and get a strikeout against a good major league hitter like Will Myers is. And so it's just all his pitches are special, man. And I think the velocity, of course, it's what makes a big statement of the other pitches, because they work off of that. But his command as well, like, it's just from the first pitch, that his stuff is there. I mean, the first pitch is 100 or 99 mile per hour. Like now the velocity established. Now that the feel for the other pitches are just going to work. He's going to have contrast. He's going to throw strikes. He's going to make you chase. If you take, it's going to be a strike. It's just tough. He's really tough to hit against him right now.
Next up is Jerry Beach.
Hey, Louis, is your first initial reaction one of worry when you hear flexor tendonitis, especially when it's for impacting someone who, as you just noted, is at the very top of the game?
I wasn't, because I want to hear our trainer's opinion always. I always stay calm until I hear the description of what's going on, and I also talk to the pitcher or the player that's feeling the discomfort or the injury. So yeah, the level of concern is just something that it just doesn't go high immediately. Like, I want to listen to it. So as soon as I heard that the word "not concerning" right after the description of the injury or what Jake was feeling, it was so next I wanted just to talk to Jake and see and hear from him as well. I wanted to connect with him. So no high level of concern right after it, because of the explanation that I got immediately. So yeah, that's it. Nothing. I didn't think anything major.
Luis, thank you very much for your time today.
Thanks, Zach. Good night.
Members of media, this concludes today's post-game Zoom. We're close to the Citi Field press box at 12:30 a.m. Thank you and good night.